Hello everyone, and in today's video we're back with another proficiency level vocabulary video, and we're going to be doing television and the media part 2. So let's have a look at some of the words. First up, a sedentary lifestyle. Now this is a problem for a lot of us nowadays, and yes, the television doesn't help, because what a sedentary lifestyle is basically you are not active, you're not moving around. So if you're sitting watching sports or anything on television for long periods of time, you're sedentary, you're not moving, and this is a problem. Also for our jobs, perhaps using computers or answering phones, again, this doesn't really help. So many of us nowadays live a rather sedentary lifestyle. Hence, while we put on a little bit of pudge. Watching TV encourages us to have a more sedentary lifestyle. One of the disadvantages of television. To have square eyes, this is an expression, and it literally means when you watch, again, too much television or play perhaps too much PlayStation for hours and hours and hours, and I'm sure we've all had this sensation. Maybe you've been watching a series, for example, Stranger Things. Oh, wow, what a series that is. And you've been watching like 7-8 episodes. After that, you're kind of like, oh, and that's when we say you've got square eyes. So when you watch or stare at the television for too long, if you keep playing the PlayStation, you'll get square eyes. A commercial break. I hate these things, especially if you're watching a film on the television. There is nothing worse than a commercial break. Oh yes, that's right, it's when they put all the advertisements on, so you have at least 5-10 minutes, depending on the channel, sometimes more, of useless advertisements. Really, really annoying. This channel has far too many advertisements, which really gets on my nerves. Totally true. Propaganda. Now, if you're watching a lot of television, particularly the news, there is a lot of propaganda. So, propaganda is when you promote, let's say, one particular point of view and you don't mention or talk about the others. And so this is very, very common, maybe when there are elections and you have a TV channel that is kind of run or supports one particular party. If this is the case, they'll say they'll promote all the good things about this party, and they'll never say anything that would harm their reputation. And again, this is kind of propaganda, and we're going to get to another word later in the presentation, which means you represent both sides. But there is lots of political propaganda on the TV at the moment due to the elections. Current affairs. In a speaking exam, you may be asked, are you interested in current affairs? And all that means is what's happening in the world now, the news, in politics, economics, all of this is current affairs. So recent news, usually to do with politics. I'm not really interested in current affairs, although I probably should be. To be bombarded with products. So here, bombarded with, given lots of, you could be bombarded with bombs, not so fun, bombarded with information, bombarded with facts. So here, bombarded with products, you're given a lot of something. And these days, if during a commercial break, as we talked about a minute ago, you are bombarded with products. Here, even driving along the road, you are bombarded with things. You can see all the advertisements for beer, all sorts of things. So heavy advertising in this particular case. At Christmas time, the TV bombards us with products for the Christmas holidays. Excessive violence. This is a problem nowadays, especially if they're putting programs with excessive violence on very early during the day. Also, a lot of computer games for the PlayStation are excessively violent. For example, like God of War, things like that, when you rip off someone's arm and beat them to death with it. Yeah, that's excessive. Excess means too much. You can have excessive smoking, excessive eating, all sorts of this. Too much. And excessive violence means exactly that. Too much violence. Many films nowadays contain excessive violence, if you ask me. In other words, there's no real need for it. They take it just too far, or it's just too violent, and there are some things in this life that we really don't need to see. To be objective. Now, this is the word I was telling you about. It's kind of the opposite of propaganda, because if you are objective, you see both sides. So journalists and newspaper editors should be objective. They never are, but they should be. And this, as I said, is when you're looking at both sides. You don't really have an opinion. You are neutral, so to speak. Journalists should try to be as objective as possible. Oh, if only that were true. So I hope this has been useful. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you want more vocabulary, there are lots of vocabulary videos in our White series featuring here university, weather, the environment, you name it, it's there. And remember, if there's any topic that you find that we haven't covered, send us a comment and I'll do it straight away. Thanks for watching. Bye.